since I've been hiking the Superior hiking trail, I've noticed that there aren't a lot of dogs that are hiking and overnighting. Did you hear something? No. Okay. And I was online looking for tips and tricks for people who backpack with a hammock and a dog and really didn't find much. So I thought I would make a video with what works for me and explain why I'm awkwardly sitting in this. So I guess I'll start with that. Bugs are obviously part of the trail, and I treat my clothes with permethrin, but you can also use permethrin to treat dogs, just on their fur, not on their skin. It's actually the lead ingredient in some of the topical tea and flick, flea and tick preventatives. So it is safe to use on dogs and your clothing, just not on skin. The other thing that I use for Daphne is, or Swiffer of the Woods is her trail name, is Bravecto, which is an oral pill. It's a prescription from our vet, and I know that it's working because the way that it works is there's like a toxin that sits just underneath their skin. So when a tick bites them, it dies and then falls off. She's very fluffy though. So the last 5-day trip we did out here, she slept in the hammock with me because it was a cold night, and we got home, gave her a bath, and started, brushing her, and I was pulling out ticks, and there were about 60 of them, but they were all dead. So yay, dead ticks. And I had 0 on me. And again, she slept in the hammock with me for 4 nights on the trail. So that works for us. The other thing that's really good that you can use on dogs too, that I found out from a person who has sled dogs, is Wondercide. So if you want something that isn't a chemical treatment but does repel fleas and ticks and mosquitoes, all that good stuff, Wondercide is main ingredient is cedar oil. So a natural option. The only place that I've seen her actually get mosquito bites is like right in the corners of her eyes, but nothing that's worth warranting putting a head net on a dog, because I don't know, she'd probably hate it. But at night I just like to be in the same space with her without bugs getting to us. So that's why I have this. This is a Mozzy 360. It's got little stakes in the corner. I don't always use them, but the nice thing is it's got the little waterproof bathtub bottom that goes up all the way around. So if it's raining and it's splashing a little bit of mud, or if you want to just like throw all of your gear in and make sure that that's dry too, it's a really nice way to keep dry and not muddy. And then she can come in here. She curls up here on my little sit pad, unless it's like really, really cold. Then she'll get in with me. And by really, really cold, I mean like, below 40 at night. Otherwise, she'll just lay here, and I can reach my arm down and like pet her, give her a little pup massage after her long hike, and she's right there with me. So that's like bug stuff covered. The next thing that you probably already have, or maybe you don't, is her leash and her harness. The harness she has on, I don't know if you can see it. It's a rough wear harness, but the main thing is it connects around over the head, around the neck, underneath the armpits, and then it goes down a little bit lower. It actually has a extra strap running around her belly, and then it has a handle on the back. So she is 12 years old. Sometimes going from a boulder on the ground to a boulder that's like my hip height, it's tricky. So I can just like pull on the leash or pull on the handle and just give her that little extra boost that she needs to get up on some of those big things, or the ones that are just more difficult because she doesn't know where her feet are, like the ladders or tall stairs. Sometimes it's just nice to have a hand on them, or like cliffs. I don't know, safety. And then the leash is also a rough wear leash. The cool thing about this though is it's got this little clip on it, and yeah, I know you can probably like loop it on your hip belt and then undo your hip belt every 2 seconds, but I clip this around my hip belt. And then when we come up to a tree and we're playing over under, where it's like I decide to step over the log or the down tree, but she decides to go under it. I can just quick unclip it without unclipping my actual like belt for my backpack, and I just unclip it, the leash, let her go under, feed it around, and then clip it again, and we continue moving without stopping. So that's leash and harness. Let's see. Oh, I don't do trekking poles. It's too many things. I'm probably gonna just stab her with it, or if I fall, I'm not gonna be able to grab something because I'm grabbing onto the trekking pole. I'm just not that coordinated. It's not for me. Great if it works for you. It's just one more thing for me. I brought some with me just in case I, for some reason, had to go to ground. But if you can see this campsite, I mean, this is a big one, but trees are not an issue here. The only issue with trees on the Superior Hiking Trail lately is that there are a lot of trees, but because of the beetles that have been eating the pine trees, there are a lot of dead trees. So if you are hiking the Superior Hiking Trail and you are sleeping in a hammock, just because the tree is there, make sure you look up, check for, widowmakers like normal, but like really see if that tree's alive. I did have one time where I was just like, oh my gosh, the perfect spot, and then hung up my tree, sat in it, and I felt it sink. And I looked up at the trees and went, oh, that's why. No, and then moved it immediately. So don't be dumb like me. For my shelter, I already kind of talked about that. We've got our Mozzy 360 hammock. If anyone sleeps with a dog in the hammock with them, she's 60 pounds. And if there's a trick to do a diagonal lay with a dog in the hammock with you, or if you're like a crazy person that somehow figured out how to sleep with two people in it, I'm sure the same technique would apply. I don't know. Definitely tell me how to do that, because like I said, when it's cold, I bring her in with me, and not that it's awkward. It's real awkward. For hydration, I have the Canuck Vecto and Vesica. The Vecto is the big 2-liter guy, just scoop up the water, throw it through a Sawyer filter, and then I've got the Vesica, my little 1-liter that I drink. This is already filtered because it's gone through the filter into here. And you've probably seen the little sport caps. Everybody knows what these sport caps are, but it's not. This one's specialer. It's better. She's laughing at me. The reason is we take a lot of water breaks. It's hot, she's fluffy, whatever. We take a lot of water breaks. And when I want to pour water into her bowl with the regular sports cap, as soon as you take the bottle and you flick it, it's like dribbling all over the place. But this one's got a little silicone thing in it with a little X in it, kind of like the good ketchup bottles that don't dribble all over the place. So obviously it's not leaking, which is nice, because sometimes you just want to like set this down and it's full and you think it's going to stand up and then it doesn't, and there goes your water. So one, just great to have with this water bottle. Second, I can aim and then squeeze water into her bowl and I'm not spilling. And for her bowl, it's a DCF bowl. It's super light, easy to scrunch up and throw in my bag. And since I share water with her, I try to get electrolytes in while I'm hiking, because my body just feels better. And I can't do the drink packets into the water bottle and then have that be the same water for her. So I really like using the little chews that have electrolytes. Some of them even have caffeine in them. So, when you're used to drinking pop all day for caffeine intake, those are very helpful. I think they're Cliff Blocks is what they're called. There's the orange one, there's a black cherry one. Those both have different amounts of caffeine in them. And then the one that's just electrolytes, is margarita. There's other flavors, but I don't like berry or tropical stuff, and they're bomb, and they're vegan because they use pectin instead of gelatin. So those are my favorite electrolytes to pair with having a water bottle that you share with your dog. Our regular first aid kind of protocol is that we stop for a midday check-in where I check for blisters on my feet and on hers, just to make sure her feet are doing okay. And I also have a set of they're like breathable booties. They're kind of like socks with a Velcro strap. Anytime I know there's a little bit of a road walk that's on asphalt, I'll just automatically put those on her, because I did have one small detour. It was less than 2 miles, but it just really chewed up her feet, and I want to make sure that she's doing well, because if she's not happy, she's really, really tired now because we just hiked all day, but if she's not bouncing and excited when I say the word hike in the morning and nudging me because I'm taking too long to pack up camp, then we're done. So I want to make sure, first and foremost, she's taken care of. So that's why we do our midday foot check and our end of the day foot check. Make sure we're not getting any blisters or anything like that. In case I do see something, I do have regular first aid kit. But then on top of my regular first aid kit, I just have extra pre-wrap in case I need to wrap up a foot. I have those little balloon booties, those little rubber booties that we can throw on if we need to just cover something up so we can get to a trailhead and then get picked up and go back to the car. And then another thing that I found out that a lot of dog first aid kits have is peroxide, because if they eat something they really shouldn't, you can always give it to them and make them puke. So peroxide is light sensitive, so I basically took a little bottle, measured out the amounts. There's 2 doses in there, put little lines on the bottle, and then I covered it in made a little pouch for it that's just out of tape, just so it's protected from the light, so that the peroxide doesn't turn into just boring water that's not going to help you out if they find something stinky on the trail and then gulp it down, and now they've got bird bones inside their stomach or something gross like that, because dogs are gross. So that's our first aid stuff. And then it's been better now that she knows what's going on, but her first time that we were on a hike on the trail, she didn't really have an appetite. I think she was just too tired. Just wasn't sometimes she's just not hungry, and that happens at home too. And I know how important it is for her to eat, so I started bringing meal enhancements, food enhancements. Sometimes that's peanut butter that I put into they have those baby food pouches that are refillable, so it's a heavy duty Ziploc bag with the little end that you twist off the cap, and you can squeeze out the peanut butter so you can make a smaller portion. So either that, or what I've been doing now is I call them sprinkles. It's basically it's meant to top dog's food, but it's just a dry powder, and you can just sprinkle it on top of their food, and it just gives it a little extra beef broth flavoring smell to it, to get them to be ooh, this is exciting and not just my regular kibble, so that they have that little more exciting thing to get them to eat their dinner. And you can, with this powder, you can also mix it into water to make a beef broth that's not salty and has garlic and onion or whatever human stuff would have in it. And that's just something I just bring a little Ziploc of, so that I can sprinkle it on her food, and if I need to, I can put it in her water too, but she's pretty warm, so she's pretty good about drinking her water. So I guess that's all I have for now for my tips about stuff that I do with my dog while backpacking with her with a hammock. But if you have tips for me, please share them. Or if someone already posted something and I just can't find it because I'm apparently getting old and don't know how to YouTube, send it my way. Would love to see it.